Strange. So, hello, my name is Fede Toslev, and the talk I would like to give today is about innovation and creativity. You saw that you need some real options among which you need to choose. In sociocracy, you need some proposal which you need to discuss. And you saw how we can come to decision with the consensus, which is a converging method where you have a lot of options and you have to converge to one decision. And I choose to talk about creativity. This is the, because it creates options. So somehow we have to create those options. And creativity is the method to give you a lot of options. So first, what I would like to point out is that you heard about design thinking. You need the space. You need to create the trust, to have the challenges for the people, but you also need to devote the time for those ideas. And you also need a lot of factors which you need to have for good creativity. One point I would like to make here is the single biggest killer of creativity are the conflicts in the company. So you as agile practitioners, whenever you spot them, try to kill the conflicts when they are small. And by conflicts, I do not mean that you have to kill the debates. Debates are helper. So keep the debates, but kill the conflicts. And the next thing which I would like to maybe show, I don't know, I have time, but just to make a point here is that maybe all of you know brainstorming. Brainstorming is just one technique. But there are about 200 more techniques which can help you. There are some linear techniques and there are some techniques which are intuitive. You could very easily try with linear techniques and you can go and search the web and find those. So what I would like to try to experiment with one today is called Scamper. It comes from the words, the first letter of several words. So we pick a challenge. Let's say the challenge is how to organize. I saw him on the t-shirt about organizing ALE 2016. So the challenge would be how to organize the next ALE for free for the participants. So this is the challenge and how we could apply a creative technique here. The first one is to substitute. We could substitute some, first, let's pick up the keywords here. The keywords are ALE. We have to organize Agile conference, and it has to be in 2016. So we could substitute the ALE with some Agile and XP. We could not organize it, but let's say make it happen in some way. It can be a conference, but it can be unconference. It can be a show. It can be something else. It can be some space or some other creative place. And the other keyword is free. Okay, we could use some things to that we could adapt to serve for another use. For example, not to be just for Agile, but we mentioned that Agile and XP, or we saw that cats are very, very well accepted. We could organize a cat show. Just a simplistic example, but just to see that you could adapt. You could also modify, add things to this. You can eliminate. We said free for the participants, or we could say, okay, not free for the, not free, but let's say it could be expensive if we say that we do just the opposite, or this is the last letter, the reverse. Let's make it expensive for the participants so that we have even money for the first day for food. So we could, let's say, make it more expensive so that we are able to invite more well-known lecturers. This is just an example that we addressing each word and replacing it with a synonym or antonym, we could rephrase the problem. And by rephrasing the problem, we are receiving different types of solutions. So if you see, in 2 minutes, there is one technique which you can apply, and there are hundreds of them. You could go find them. There is a book by Michael Michalko. I put it on the post-it outside, called Tinker Toys. You can use this as a tool to facilitate and to boost the creativity in your teams. Thank you.
Next one. Topic is overcoming fear. I have fear of water since I remember myself until the last month, you know, so it's a lot of time. And this year, in the New Year resolutions, I said I had to learn to swim so that I can overcome my fear of water. And I bought a swimming suit in March, you know, very convinced that I will do it. I booked my time for the summer in July, and a week before that I realized I didn't have enough time for swimming lessons at all. And I said, okay, a week might be okay at least to get used to the water, so let's try and do something. But I was so afraid that maybe I'll fail to do something about it, so I didn't say anything to anyone. And one morning I just put my swimming suit in the bag and a towel, and I said, today. So it's not tomorrow, it's not some other day, it's today. I called the swimming pool, and I was kind of hoping that they say there are not enough spaces from the trainers for this day, but they said 5 o'clock is fine, you will be alone. And I said, okay, it fits my schedule. Okay, so it's today then no excuses anymore. I went there, and the first thing I realized, and also the conference helped me realize, was I was not using any of my skills where I was an expert, you know. I was so afraid of this thing that I didn't use anything I knew. Because I went there and the trainer asked me, what is your goal? And my first realization was, I'm teaching goal settings workshops and I have no goal. The only thing I could come up was, I just want to learn to swim, nothing else, you know. And he said, show me how you breathe out under the water. And my first name was, you know, and he was, okay, it will be hard. I mean, the nice thing was that we had set the right expectations from the very beginning. After a few lessons, actually, I started, you know, to get used to the water. I was kind of, okay, it's not so hard and it's not so scary. And I made few strokes, and the first thought in my head was, oh my God, I'm swimming. And immediately another thought came. You cannot swim. You are afraid of water, you will get drowned. And the next second, I was collapsing myself and I was drowning, only because of these small thoughts. It was not the reality. I was actually swimming. I was really doing the physical thing. But just the small thoughts made me collapse and I started to drown. I had to take a break because I took some water and I had to take a break. And it's good that I have some methods to overcome this one. So one is the yes method, but I know it another way. So if you are contracted and if you are afraid, a very easy exercise to go out of this situation is that you stand up, you stretch, and you look up, and you stay for a while like that, and then everything becomes much easier because you open up, you feel better, and then you can think. The next thing was I had to analyze what happened, you know, why these thoughts came and what value do they have. And my question was, what I was winning when I have these nasty thoughts, you know, that's how I call them, the nasty thoughts. And the first reaction was actually they were self-preservation. And not only for me, you know, not just getting drowned because water is dangerous and things like that. They have self-preservation thoughts for my ego. That was usually saying, oh, you are not an expert here, you are an expert in another area and this is not safe. It's new, you don't know how to do it, so it's not safe. Let me keep you away from it so you are not getting, you know, bad performance and bad feedback and you are not liking yourself. Okay, that's a winning. Then I'm just finishing. What I will lose if I leave these thoughts? Then I said, okay, I will just lose the excuses. nothing else, that I cannot swim. And then they came, what will I win when I just take away the thoughts? And the winning was, I will have fun with my family this time for a change during in the water at the seaside. And what will I lose? Only these thoughts. And that was really fine, and we had an amazing summer and amazing fun with my family. Thank you.
So the funny thing I found out lately, the last couple of days in Bulgari, is that if you ask a cab driver if if he will bring you to some place, and he does this, it means he is happy to bring you somewhere. So, another thing is that I was talking to some Scrum Masters last couple of days, and I found out there were a lot of, well, not a lot, but some kind of problems within the team. You know, some hidden problems with members that are not motivated, or they are not really agreeing what you're supposing. All kinds of hidden problems, and they are difficult to solve. You know, difficult to solve them with the team. And I also had that, you know, with some teams. And if I have some problems with human interactions, I always like to add a gaming element to it. So Inge was also talking about a little bit. And what I use sometimes is a so-called happiness histogram. And it looks a little bit like this. You have 4 columns. Four columns. One column is you are not happy. The other column is you are kind of happy. This one is you're happy. And the far, well, my drawing is not so good. And the far right one, you're really happy. So what you can do is every member of the team can have a post-it with their name on it or their initials on it. And every day, you know, during the or after the stand-up, or maybe every other day, it all depends on, you know, what you like to do with your team. You can put a post-it somewhere with your name on it. And we made a rule that whenever you put a post-it somewhere in the upper left, or in the far left, or in the far right column, then you should actually make a post-it that you put in one of the columns that you will use with your retrospective. For example, with your retrospective, you have like 2 columns, you know, what went well, what didn't went well, or what to improve. So this gives you kind of a trigger if you put a note in this one, you know, in the I'm not really happy column, because maybe your computer didn't work, or communication with, I don't know, with support didn't work that day, or whatever. It doesn't matter, even when you have a flat tire with your car, doesn't matter. But this will actually trigger the team at the stand-up, you know, okay, something wrong with this guy, what's going on, can you tell us? And you can also write a note, red note, that you can put on the board for the retrospective. And it will also help you that you will have a lot of input for the coming retrospective. Because I found out sometimes when you're doing a retrospective with your team, that people at that moment are thinking, oh yeah, what went wrong this last iteration, or what went well? And then they have to look at each other, you know, what do you think? And this will, you know, this will continuously give you input for your retrospective. You know, you can do it every day or every second day. So, yeah, my next question is here everybody happy? Come on. Okay. So that's a big one over there. Well, it's just an idea, and I thought it was worth sharing. So, thank you.
Hi, my name is Kasia, and an idea popped out to my mind yesterday. But before I present this idea to you, I would like to ask you a question about your background, so about a place that you're coming from, maybe a bit your formal background. So who of you studied something connected to IT, technology? Raise your hand, okay. That's a fair number. Something connected to management, maybe? Yeah, also fair number. Something connected to psychology? Not that much. And still, how many of you works with people and the teams? Everyone, almost everyone. So, just to give you a bit of my personal background, almost a psychologist, and I work in IT and technology company. And I feel that I got attracted to Agile because it is somehow really, really like familiar to me and really close to my heart. So I would like to encourage you to discover the world of psychology. And I think that by connecting these two worlds, the world of technology, IT, Agile, and psychology, we can create something bigger. And I would like to see psychologists being speakers at the conferences like that. It would be amazing, and I think we all can get more out of it. And I did some Googling, so I was typing Agile plus psychologist, Scrum plus psychologist, and I didn't get much record on that. So this is also something to work on, it's something to discover. And coming back to the first point of Agile Manifesto, where there are individuals and interactions over processes and tools, there's exactly what psychology does. So I really encourage you to discover this world, and I will be really happy to talk about you about it. So thank you very much.
Who of you is working with language? I heard something about nonviolent communication yesterday. You were just talking about psychology, which is also raising our awareness of how we talk with each other, because that affects our relations. How we talk about the system we work with affects the options we have dealing with it. I heard a lot at this conference, at the Agile conference I was before, and numerous other conferences and numerous conversations I led, a lot of talk about problems. And when we look at something and label it as a problem, we focus on the past. That's great for our brain because the past is safe. There's no uncertainty in the past. There's just these amazing differences in our memory which have raised so funny debates, right? So we can have a lot of fun without any risk, because it doesn't change anything to discuss what happened, right? To find out why something happened, no risk in that, right? Totally safe space for the brain, no real value for the future. So, focusing on the past and focusing on the problem does, it sets this negative bias in our brain, so that we have explored all of the things that don't work well in our system, all the things we don't like, right? So we've basically set up our minds into the worst possible place to explore solutions. So what I want to invite you to do is to stop labeling things as a problem, or if you have a problem and you want to have a conversation, don't do the analysis of the problem, don't do the 5 whys, don't do all of this historian work of finding out what really happened so that we can accurately write it down. Just stop, stay present, and look into the future. What would we like to have happen? Right? How can we agree it was shit last week, right? How can we avoid that shit? What can we do instead? Right? Focus on the things you can do right here, right now, or tomorrow, instead of spending too much time in the past. And be aware how the words we use inhibit our options, right? Labeling something as a problem, instead of just saying, okay, reality is not perfect, let's get on and let's make it better, right? This is what improvement is about. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Onelia. I'm from Bulgaria, and I'm business analyst. Who is a business analyst here? Okay, and who is doing business analyst as part of their job activities? Okay, great. So I would like much more to share something about business analysis and the new guide that was released from the International Institute of Business Analysis this year in April. And this is actually the business analysis body of knowledge. And I did link between the business analysis body of knowledge and this conference, because we have talked about context so many times. And the new part in this third version of the guide is actually putting the business analysis in different contexts. And one of the contexts is Agile, but we have other contexts where we can find business analysis. For example, business architecture, process management, etc. So if you need some more information on what techniques to use or how to conduct proper business analysis in different contexts, just have a look. It's BA-BOK version 3, and it's free for every member of IABA. And I would like to share one more thing. We will talk about BA-BOK and business analysis practices in Agile world and still in Waterfall world in an event that will take place in October in Serbia, in Belgrade. And you can find more information about this event at hashtag BBA, which stands for Balkan Business Analysis 2015 conference. If you'd like to know more about that event and business analysis in Agile and outside Agile world, you can find me and talk to me. Thank you.
Hello. Well, I first of all, I want to share with you that I'm now, in this moment, I'm really sad because it's just 3 hours and a half to leave the conference. So it's been a very special time, as usual. I will miss the Rachel's talk, but I want to give an off-topic. I've written a table behind of the room, just if you want to share any taxi or transport to the airport or wherever you go. I will leave at 4 to the airport. If you want to share, it will be great. If not, it will be great, so it means that you will stay here, so it's nice. I would like you to close your eyes. Yeah? Thank you. Thank you. Gracias. Danke. Merci. Gracias. Thank you. Thanks a lot. You can open your eyes if you want. I hope and I wish that you feel at least the half as well as I feel right now. I'm happy, I'm full of ideas, of energy, as usual. Sorry? Yeah, thank you in Bulgaria. Oh, sorry. I'm trying hard to speak in English, so but how is it in Bago? Lago Daria? Thank you. Well, just to finish, just thank you to everyone I have the opportunity to talk with, to meet in the corridors, in the rooms. Thanks to a lot of that I have not the opportunity to talk with. It means that I will have the opportunity to really know you at AIL 2016. I don't know where. Or there are 2 nice opportunities in Spain. The first one in October will be in Barcelona. It will be the Agile Coach Camp edition in Barcelona. It was the 10th and 11th of October. And the CAS, the Conference of Agile Spain, the official... Thanks, Angel. It will take place the 3rd to 5th of December in Madrid. It's not Barcelona, but it's good enough, so... Thank you all.
Okay, yeah, I'd like to invite you again to that conference. I'm chairing one of the tracks, so please, I'm waiting for your submissions. But my topic is completely different. In the 18th century, something amazing happened in Britain. We started doing some automation. And after that, many people went to the city and we started a very important movement in this society. That was the first industrial revolution. In the 19th century, in the US, a guy started doing that automation to produce products in a massive way. Remember Ford? Great stuff started happening there. So cars were available to many people. This was the second industrial revolution. Now, in the 2015 year, in the 21st century, very interesting stuff is happening. Renewable energy, 3D printers. I think we are in the era of the highly customizable, or the high customization of products. And I believe that in software, we are experiencing this in the very first stages of the industry. We live in a highly personalized environment. That's why we are trying to do this inspect and adapt thing. So this is the third industrial revolution. Jeremy Rifkin, maybe you know the author, is a speaker and an economic expert, talking about this third industrial revolution, when we're trying to make highly customizable goods. We also have Creative Commons. We also have a very demanding customer. So I like to think that we are part of this. We're part of this third industrial revolution. Maybe we are being the early adopters in this third industrial revolution. And now we're just talking about software. But maybe in the future we will be talking about other products, because building products is becoming easier and cheaper every time, every day. And now we can be part of that. I believe that in the future, outsourcing is going to be done less and less, because the producing products is going to be less and less expensive. So it's much better to get the people together with you, because we are not buying products anymore, but the service, the knowledge. So the service industry and the manufacturing industry are getting together. So I believe that maybe in the future, we don't have to move agile towards the industry. Maybe the industry will move towards agile. I believe that. And I'd like you to explore Jeremy Rifkin's thoughts about the third industrial revolution, and of course, get ready to be important people, to be an important role in this third industrial revolution. Thank you.
So guys, I'd like to introduce some only part of the people responsible for organizing this event. Yeah, so we are only part of the people. And first I want to remind everyone that this is a community organized event. So as organizers, we are like there is no chairperson or anything like that. And I'd like to first thank our sponsors. Like we have a few, thanks to them. Like Rushmore Digital, they helped us with the registration. And then Skrill, they helped us a lot in many ways. And then Concentric for Germany, so thanks our sponsors.
Yeah, these days we had really great speakers, so I'd like to ask them to stand up. Please, all speakers, just stand up. And let's applaud them. You were really awesome.
I have a cheat sheet. So as Dimitar mentioned, we don't have some central organization. There have been some people like Mike who are passing the torch, for example. But basically, the community decides when the next one is going to be. And if there's enough volunteers around it, it just happens. I would give myself as an example. I was in the organization of 2011. I then only visited the next one, and now I'm organizer here. And for the next one, I don't even know if I'm going. But it's something that the community decides, and everyone has their own choice, and a choice as a group. I'm not going to say culture. Cheat. So we want to share with you the list. This is the list that we have with some empty line there. But this is the list of the people that, for example, joined this year's SOFAS to organize this event, and whether they joined with a little spark at a certain point or they were there throughout the whole time. Every single bit counts, every single help and energy in the direction of making this a great event so you can enjoy it. So I want you to give a round of applause to all these people. And I hope that next year some of your names are in such a list. And then that's the other part of the organizations, the other organizers are all of you. So I want us to give a round of applause for all of you guys. This is a co-creation conference, and you have already made so much together with us, and all of us together have made so much. And the question is, what happens next? So the reason why we're doing this now is because a lot of you, or some of you, intend to leave, those of you traveling. But the question is, where is going to be the next conference was asked earlier, and that is totally up to you and the rest of our community out there. Usually it happens through someone suggests cities to have it in, and there's a public vote online. So feel free to be a part of that, just like anyone in this room. And in order to start the discussions, you could, for example, we thought of you could have an open space session about that, or, you know. And for those of you who would consider sharing dinner tonight, we set up something which we are now calling Dinner with a Friend. Since you're now all friends. And we have no idea how many people would want to participate or could. So we're going to do the inspect and adapt principle. So you just write your name if you want to have dinner. And then according to the number, we can either book some places or, you know, you could even throw your ideas if you have something concrete. So that was from us for now. We will close properly afterwards. But thank you very much. Lunch is served, so let's enjoy some food. Thanks.